Welcome to Session Sunday. Hi guys, it's Jack Edwards, and in today's video we're going to be focusing on passing and moving. But before we get into this week's video, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe, and if you missed last week's video, click on the link above. Okay, so moving into the first part of this week's session, we're going to be working on a technical drill, okay, which is going to be unopposed, so a pattern of play. But before we get into it, let's have a look at how many players we're working with this week and the equipment that we'll be using. So in terms of players for this week, we're going to have 10 players in total. Now you can adapt that for more players as well. So obviously if you have 12 players, that's fine, or 14. You can just put them into different areas. And then in terms of equipment for this week, we're going to be focusing on using balls, bibs, cones, and then you can kind of use poles and mannequins for when we're doing the patterns of play as well. So you don't need any goals, but obviously we can add them into different areas if you want to. And then if you have a goalkeeper, you can obviously just take some of the parts of this session and use them in different areas of your sessions. Now, in terms of the setup for this part of the session, we're going to have 20 yards of depth, 20 yards of width, okay, and one player starting in the middle. And then we're going to have this area here free, because this is where players are going to be moving. So you're going to split the group into two, so 2 groups of 5, okay? And if you have more players, obviously you can add players into different areas. So there's a little bit, obviously the players will have to wait, but they don't have to move as quickly then. So how it's going to work is, player in here is going to receive the ball, is going to have the ball. They're going to set to the middle player, okay? Who's then going to set the ball back. After they've done that, they're looking to spin out to this area here. Now, this player will then look to receive the ball on the back foot, to open out, okay, and then play down to the other side. Whilst that's happening, the player who's at the start point will be moving into the middle. So when this player receives the ball on the outside here, they're looking to play first time to go 1, 2, play it across, okay, and this player will be moving down to here now. And then once they've done that 1, 2, this player moves out to this side now, and then we're playing across to here, where this player is going to receive, open out, play back to the start point, so they'll follow their pass again, and then we're going again, 1, 2, this player spins out to here, okay, playing up again. So this is where we do take the touch, this is where we're focusing on opening out, timing of our movement into the middle, okay, and then our receiving skills. So this player here, pulling off the cone or the pole, receive it, set, okay, nice sharp movement to get around, to work the feet quickly, okay, and then we're looking for them obviously to bounce up to there. This player looks to pull off, to receive on the back foot, and then to play in there. So obviously the players are focusing on their movements, okay, they're focusing on the ability to play 1 and 2 touch, okay, how they receive the ball, the tempo of the play as well, okay, being comfortable using both feet. And then, like you say, at the start though, you can obviously start a little bit slower, let the players get used to the rhythm, okay, you get used to the pattern, and then once they're confident, try and build up the speed of it. We will now move into our first animation before moving on to part 2 of this week's session. Now moving into part 2 of this week's session, we're now moving into the second of our patterns of play. Now, again, you're going to split your group into 2 again. And for the setup for this part of the session, we're going to have 15 yards in between each cone here, so 30 yards of depth. And then in terms of the width here, okay, you're going to go between 10 and 15. Okay, so you can just alternate it based on how you feel it's working. If you think it's too small, you can increase it, and so forth. Now, how it's going to start is, this player is going to look to receive it by opening out here. So they're going to pull off to receive, open out, okay, and then they're going to play to this player here. Now, we're looking for the player at the start point to gradually move into the middle. Okay, so they're still going to be involved in the pattern. This player plays in, okay, and then sets back and receives here, okay. Now, once they've done that, this player looks to move up here. Central player's timing it. So when this player here receives the ball, it's going to get played into them. Then they're going to look to receive it, okay, and set again inside, set the opposite side, and then play back to the start. So the central player then, who's been at the start point, stays here. This player moves out to there. This player moves back to the start. So then when this player receives and opens out, that's when we're going to come across to this side to receive the ball. Again, open out again, play to this player here, so create those angles, okay, to be able to play the wall pass. This player's moved out. This player's tiny movement to move down the line of the ball, receive it, set, again, go across to there, back to the start. This player moves up, this player moves up, this player moves down, and then again, this player jumps out to receive it, and then go again. Now, after a set time, you can put this cone, you can just work off the opposite way, so the player can start here, and then it can go the opposite way, so player receives on the back foot, on the left foot here, okay, and obviously 1, 2, play, and then the same again. So you can do the pattern just off the opposite side. So again, if you have more players, just add them into certain areas, and players can even be shadow defenders in between goes as well. We'll now move into our second animation before moving on to the final part of this week's session. Okay, now moving into the final part of this week's session, we're now going to move into a possession-based small-sided game. So, what's going to be happening here is we're going to split our group into 3 teams. So if you have more players, that's fine. In terms of the setup, so you're going to go between 25 and 30 yards of depth, okay, and then similar for the width as well, and then you're going to have a small area in the middle for this player. Now, no players are allowed to move in this area or will move through it, okay, or move in to try and tackle this player, and this player is not allowed to move out. So you're going to have 2 teams of 3 and a team of 4. So the team of 4 is going to have the extra player in possession. Now, if you have more players, you can just make it obviously equal in here, okay, if you want to as well, and obviously you can add more players in as well. You could even, if you wanted to have, let's say, an extra yellow here, 1 in here, and 1 on the outside, you can be a floater on the outside. So what the aim is that we are looking to play through that central player to keep the ball. Every time that the team plays into that player, they can get a point. Now, so we're focusing on not clogging up central areas. It's more difficult. So for us, can we look to stretch it? Okay, make it more difficult. So then we receive it here. Okay, they might close the option. Then we can receive it there and then play. And there's a point. We play out. And again, we move the players round again. Get players into the air. Okay, keep the ball. Okay, keep the ball. Then this player might look to move out. This player might look to move in. Okay, just to get players thinking. Okay, we receive it. 1, 2, keep the ball again. Okay, so again, trying to play as much 1 and 2 touch football that we can. Now, what happens when the Blues win the ball back? Okay, they try to get the ball to the middle player. Okay, so if they win the ball, let's say the Reds have got it here. Okay, and you try and make a forward pass, get it here. They look to play into this player here. Now, once they've done that 3 times, okay, they will swap over with these players. 2, 3. Okay, so these players will then become the defenders in here, okay, and then it's the same game. Now, another thing you could do is that once they win it back 3 times, they could swap over with the Reds, but then one of the Reds can stay with one of the teams, okay, that's how you can do it. Now, again, the focus is using the space that we've got, okay, being patient, so there's no options on to play into there. Okay, play down the line. Okay, there's no options again. Use the floaters. Okay, keep the ball moving. And then when the gaps appear, let's play through and we keep a point. Okay, so again, it's being aware of our surroundings. Okay, having that tempo set by moving the ball quickly. So again, the ability to play 1 and 2 touch. Okay, how we receive the ball, our body shape, communicating with each other, encouraging each other to get on the ball. Okay. And then again, when we're on the ball, showing composure, okay, to keep the ball moving and not panicking when we're in possession of the ball, and making sure that if there's no options on, we're not trying to force things. We can keep possession of the ball to then play into the central player who can turn, play out, and then we keep the ball, so we're able to play through the opposition, but at the right times. We'll now move into our final animation before concluding this week's session. Thanks for watching this week's video. Don't forget to head over to our website where you can sign up to view over 900 session plans like this. And we'll see you next week for another Session Sunday.